What's going on, you guys? It's your huggable hipster here, and welcome to Soulsborne Academy. Don't mind the hunter in the corner; they're just here for your protection. I have something for you guys that I'm really excited about. So you guys know how I compared bits of Dark Souls to Elden Ring? Well, we're gonna do that again, but with Bloodborne. Now, you guys know how there is a frenzy mechanic in Bloodborne? Well, there's the same exact thing in Elden Ring. I don't know why I didn't realize the similarities before, but you know what? We're here now. That's what matters. Now, the frenzied flame is a force that manifests in the eyes of those stricken by maddening grief and suffering. It is feared by many for its uncanny ability to destroy individuality, capable of melting away even eternal spirits. Those deeply stricken by its folly develop an insatiable need to spread its influence further, willingly seeking to infect others with it. These patients, known by some as chaos followers, yearn for the arrival of their lord so that they may incinerate all that divides and distinguishes. And then if we look at frenzy from Bloodborne, it states here in the lore that it is speculated that frenzy is when the player character is forced to process information pertaining to the Great Ones or Eldritch truth, which results in them briefly going insane, or rather to briefly experience a frenzy that is physically painful. Both of these have a maddening effect on the person temporarily going insane. Whereas with the frenzied flame in Elden Ring, they get so stricken with madness and so stricken with grief and self-destruction that they want to spread that. They want that to be like an incurable virus, so to speak. Whereas with Bloodborne, it's even more fascinating because you get stricken with frenzy because of an overprocessing of information. Now, are these two frenzies similar? Yes, they are kind of similar, but they start in very different and unique ways. Now, frenzy directly correlates over to insight in Bloodborne. Let's go into why briefly. So insight is the amount of knowledge that the player character has about the world around them. Insight becomes the result of the player character slowly learning and discovering and processing all of the information that they are taking in within the game. This could be pertaining to the Great Ones, the Eldritch Truth, anything really in the game. As you gain more insight, you are gaining more knowledge and perspective. Now, these aren't the only similarities across Bloodborne and Elden Ring. You also have the cosmic deities, you have the Moonlight Greatsword, which quite frankly is in every FromSoft game. I believe it's also in Armored Core 6, but I could be mistaken. In Elden Ring, I believe you have the Formless Mother, and then you have the Formless Odin in Bloodborne. So there's similarities across the board with everything. And let's not forget here that Miyazaki reuses a lot of different concepts and ideas and motifs and story structures. With the frenzied flame in Elden Ring, you have this concept that is a force that manifests the eyes of those stricken by maddening grief and suffering. And they are letting that maddening grief and suffering control them. And they want everyone else to feel that way around them. Whereas with the frenzy mechanic within Bloodborne, it is an overwhelming or an abundance of too much knowledge, obtaining too much understanding of the world around you. One is from madness and grief, another one is from too much knowledge. There is an all-consuming fear that connects the both of them, where if you have too much of anything, it's not good. Very fascinating, actually, that the last part of the description of the frenzied flame and those who are stricken with it states that these patients, known by some as chaos followers, yearn for the arrival of their lord so that they may incinerate all that divides and distinguishes. I'm going to read that part again. All that divides and distinguishes. The way I personally read that is that they are going to incinerate all that is individualistic, unique, and that is separative amongst groups. So they want everyone to be like them. They want everyone to burn along with them. You know, I was even talking about this a little bit with the character Midra when I did a psychologically gaming on his character, of where he is stricken with such madness, such grief, such depression, that he doesn't care about everything else around him. He just wants everyone to be the same way as him, which ends up being his demise. And there are some really interesting comments that were left under that video of where basically he just wanted to be left alone. And that's fascinating to me, of where we as a Tarnished come in and kind of mess everything up to a degree. And also another thing just to point out that I find kind of creepy, but also really interesting, that's put into the lore base of Bloodborne, is that you need a sedative to clear your frenzy buildup. So when you are gaining too much knowledge and you are gaining too much insight on the world around you, you basically need a sedative. You need a drug in order to sedate you, to bring you back down and be like, okay, wait a second, is this real? Is this not real? But all I know now is that I'm calm and I am being controlled. Also, this might be a bit of a stretch, but I think it's an interesting thing to point out where after running away, after defeating an enemy, it will not stop frenzy buildup, which kind of signifies that you can't run away from knowledge. The truth will always be there and it will always find a way to catch up to you. But that's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys like my face and what I do, please be sure to subscribe and hit that bell down below. May you find your worth in the waking world, your hunter. Stay casually nerdy, and I will see you all in the next video. Umbasa.